Hello everybody, Antoine here for Simarchitecture and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back with a quite special build actually, because as you can see I'm building it in Simarchitecture, the city that came with the City Living expansion pack, and I'm building this in the most expensive neighborhood. And this lot is actually pretty cool to use, I believe, because it's located really on the top of a skyscraper, and you can just use it as a normal lot, so you can build whatever you want, but it's on a skyscraper, which is really fun, I believe. So you probably already read the title and you're probably wondering, why the fuck did I decide to build such a building on a skyscraper? And actually I was thinking about a previous video I made quite a long time ago, which was the coffee shop that was also inside my channel, which was inspired by Starbucks. And I really had fun building this, and I wanted to build another coffee shop, and I wasn't sure of the style I wanted to go for, and I thought that could be a really good idea to mix it with my favorite architectural style, which is the French 19th century architecture. And yeah, so I just downloaded the new objects created by Felixandre, because as you know, all the objects that I'm using, except some lamps, are made by Felixandre, who has a page in Patreon and is doing a fantastic job recreating all the objects from the Petit Trianon in Versailles. And yeah, so I created new sofas, a new piano, and it was perfect for the idea I had. So I decided to build like a small French palace, and I was thinking actually, because as you know, when I'm building something I always imagine a story in my head. That is some new coffee shop brand, just like Starbucks, or if you know Paris a bit, or French brands, there's La Durée or Angelina, which are really fancy coffee shops where you can, of course, drink coffee but also eat. And of course, you probably know La Durée for this. You can buy macarons or such really fancy pastries. So yeah, so I had the idea of creating a new brand, which would be my brand, and inspired by the French style. And this shop that I'm creating right now would be the new shop opening in the Sims world. So I wanted a really spectacular looking shop, a bit like Hollister, if you know the brand, which is a brand created by Abercrombie. And the stores are really recognizable because they look like big beach houses, and it's really something spectacular when you enter in the mall. You can see it directly, and yeah, this is what I wanted. So I decided to go for this really spectacular style, which is really a big contrast between modern skyscraper of San Myshuno and this old-looking French palace. So yeah, the interior is really fancy, I believe. I really like what I did. I'm really proud of this building, and so this is probably the most fancy building I have ever built. And there are gold everywhere, chandeliers everywhere, candles. I also downloaded some other custom content. Mainly there's macarons and pastries, French cakes that you can find everywhere in the shop. These are actually custom content. And yeah, so I think it looks really fancy in the house. There's several atmosphere. Downstairs there are like 4 main parts with a different color each. They're pink, there's blue, there some golden color, and also red. And when you enter the place, there's this small counter when you can buy a coffee or some cakes. And when you go upstairs, it's a bit more not private, but bit more VIP, if I can say, because there's the big gallery with some really beautiful table with a lot of pastries, cakes, some fancy chandeliers, like. And I was thinking that this gallery would be like a showroom where the brand can organize some special events with some influencers from all around the city. And this gallery would be used for such events where they present their new products or something. And just next to this small gallery, there's another kind of living room where you can sit and drink your coffee and eat. And just next to it, there's a bar which could be used during the day, of course, but also for the special events I'm talking about. So you can imagine a barman working here and pouring some champagne for the customers. That would be really fancy. And of course there are toilets, because you can finish this lot as a coffee shop if there aren't toilets. The toilets are pretty simple. They're made of marble, gold, really fancy. It had to match the rest of the building. And there's a little toilet downstairs. I don't know if you saw it yet, but I think I'm furnishing this at the end of the video, yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it about this. This building, I hope you really enjoy it, because I do. And I noticed that on the channel, the videos that I did using the custom content made by Felixandre are actually pretty popular. So I really hope you will like it, because I really enjoy doing such things. I'm not saying that I'm gonna do such buildings every time, because I like to do some different things, but yeah, I think it would be something that will come quite often on the channel, such buildings. And also I'm always waiting for new objects made by Felixandre, and yeah, every time he releases a new object, I'm feeling like building a new building using those objects. So yeah, so if you follow Felixandre, you could know that every time he publishes something, I'm publishing a new video. So that could be a way for you to know when I'm releasing such a video. So this made me want to talk about some fancy things that you can find in France. So I told you about La Durée or Angelina. I don't know if you ever been to Paris. This is really a fantastic city. I'm not saying this because I'm French, but there's beauty everywhere. Like really, all the buildings, everything is really spectacular, luxurious looking, and yeah, I just fancy it, actually. It's not a city where I could live during the whole year. I just like going there as a tourist, as a French tourist, because this is really small. Actually, Paris is really small. It's not a huge city. There are a lot of inhabitants, but in a really small area. So that's why it's a bit, overwhelming when you're living here, I believe. But I really like it. And if you go there, don't forget to stop at either La Durée, Angelina, or there's some really beautiful French palaces, hotel palaces where you can drink a coffee or take a really good cake. It's really expensive. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's really expensive, but I think it's a whole experience. It's really something you had to live once, I believe. Just like when you go to Austria. I don't know if you ever been to Austria. It's a country that I really like. When you go to Vienna, there are some really authentic coffee houses that you have to try, because it's part of the culture, and that's actually the same in Paris with those brands. And of course, also there's an Angelina and a La Durée shop in Versailles, in the palace itself, which is really fancy, I believe. Like, it's probably the ultimate place to be, and they had the authorization to do it. So yeah, it's pretty fancy to go there, and I really enjoy going there when I go to Versailles. I've said pretty much everything, and I will leave you with the rest of the video. There's some classical music. I really hope you will enjoy it. Like, I thought it was really part of the atmosphere I wanted to create. So this is really music that I love. This is actually Mozart, and the other compositor, I don't remember. I believe it's played by an American orchestra, but I don't remember actually. But yeah, the opera song is actually made by Mother, I'm sure about it. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!